Hi folks, and welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4. Now, backed by popular demand, we're doing a Germany playthrough, historical Germany playthrough, using the recent Gotterdammerung DLC so we can see the full focus tree and maybe make use of some of the mechanics that come in there. But we're doing it with a slight difference. We're going to be playing with a focus on heavy tanks. They're going to be our breakthrough units. Going to be different. We normally play with medium tanks as Germany. They're very well set up for that. But no, we're going with the biggest, heaviest stuff we can field. And let's see if Germany fielded just a complete army of Tiger tanks. Would that have been more successful? It's an interesting choice to go with. We'll try it out. I just fancy the big, heavy stuff. So we're going to be also playing another Germany playthrough once we finish this one, an alt history one. So do stay tuned for that one if you're interested. Let's get some research going and get the game started off. Our usual opening. I don't really do anything ever different. I don't think anyone does much different anytime they start off a game of Hearts of Iron. But we are going to use a fourth slot to try and pick up some of our armour. What we would like to do is get this 1940 heavy chassis. We're going to try and... We need to get the Molotov-Ribbentrop pack, though, to get that. Because, well, for the research bonus for it, so we can get it early. That's all. And we're going to go with Porsche for the heavy tanks focus on this. It's going to be an interesting time ahead. Let me just check on the research. We do have a land warfare experimental facility. And we're going to put, because we want tanks in this, an armoured specialist, Edward Grote. Never heard of the guy. And we can start instantly. Oh, we can go instantly. Right, we'll go with the military engineering vehicles, which will give us the armoured engineer assault thing. Whatever it is. We'll get to that in a minute when we can build them. That's going to be cool. Okay, so construction. We're not going to go wild on infrastructure like we would do at the start of most games, which helps you build factories faster. There's some cool focuses which give us that. We're going to start with the aerodynamics research facility. Let's just stick it in there. That's so that we can research radar. Some of these are just unnecessary, but the radar one is absolutely essential, I think, to help us with the air war. So we can't pass up on that. And I'm going to get a couple of extra military factories out. Let's go for 3 in Hanover. Just get those kicked out to start with, and then we might do a few civilians after that as well. Yeah, go on. We'll go for 4 civilians after that, and then we'll see where we are with things. So military factories. Obviously, we want lots of everything. I'm going to build some artillery up. We're going to need some support stuff and light tanks. I'm going to get a quantity of trucks built up as well. An aircraft. Can we go in on the aircraft? Do we have enough? Right, that's where we come to a halt there. But that'll do to start with, and then we'll have to add things in. We do not want so many of these early submarines. We've got better ones we can already build, but as these are half built, I'm just going to let them finish. And these are the destroyers. Okay, we'll let them get done. This isn't going to be a big Germany naval playthrough, but the next one just might be. So let me know if you think that's going to be a fun thing to do as we go alt history Germany, going big on the navy. And let's not get rid of these. Let's just put them in like that. We don't need 4 though. Let's reduce that so we can actually get building the ones that we want and use our dockyards. Is that going to let me... You scumbags. Okay. We could actually get rid of those, but I'd say having some extra destroyers might actually be quite useful. Early game. Right. National focus. Remilitarize the Rhineland. Key things we're going to look for in here. Let's stick historical on. Which is kind of what we're going to do. We want the Condor Legion, so we're going to be supporting nationalist Spain. There's a little hack you can do, reporting Republican Spain, which is great. Gets you their gold reserves, basically. But we want the Condor Legion because we want to boost our military and our air XP from helping out in the Spanish Civil War. And we're going to remilitarize the Rhineland to start with. And we basically want all these other nice options. There's loads of stuff we can play with the economy. This expanded tree's got some difficult decisions to make, shall we say. Let's get some stuff in training. We're going to train a load of cavalry brigades. What we need is a lot of divisions thrown out at the start. So we're just going to go with that. And then we are going to want infantry as well. But we'll worry about that once these guys start getting deployed. And unassigned divisions. Let's get everything into one massive army. Let's get the infantry into a force here. That's cool. And then let's give them a nice infantry commander. There should be one right about there. Erwin von Witzelben. Never heard of the guy. Let's see if he's any good. And we're going to put those on the Austrian border because we're going to be planning for Anschluss. Haha, right from the start. Depends what the Austrians have to say about that, of course, but I don't think there'll be any great any great problem with it. And let's get the time going. And let's go. So loads of cool stuff to do with Germany. Obviously, we're going to want to demand the Sudetenland. We're going to Anschluss. We're going to plan on invading Poland. It's going to be a fully historical playthrough in those regards. We're going to use the heavy tanks to break through and take France. I really want to see how they do. There are going to be some interesting options we can do with the design templates there, of course. And Germany, yeah, okay, so once we've got this one done, we've then very quickly got to start looking at what we're going to do with the economic growth. We either go with the flipping MIFO bills, or we try and... I think we're going to go with the MIFO bills. MIFO bills are like kind of like government bonds, basically, to enable the economy to get going, but they have to be paid back. And I think they're suspended during times of war. So if Germany goes to war, it doesn't pay its loans back until the war's over, and we don't have to worry about consumer goods factories. Basically, that's a simplified version of it. I think we're going to go down this regardless, and we're going to have to deal with that. So... yes, joy, oh joy. The remilitarization of the Rhineland. It is German territory. Yes, it is ours. And France can just suck it up. And there's going to be all sorts of things. I don't, by the way, have the Graveyard of Empires DLC. I had no plans to get it. I'm not particularly interested in playing as Afghanistan, Iran, anymore as India. Purely because, for most of the options in there, they are very late game things that come through. I think particularly with India. And my recent playthrough as the British Raj, it was okay, but it wasn't that exciting. So I prefer playing as the major powers and on historical stuff. So that's where my interest lies with the game. We have the 4-year plan. Now, all these are obviously quite good. That gives us maximum infrastructure. Remember I said we don't need to build infrastructure, at least not to start with. All these are excellent. I mean, pretty much everything. This one gives us some different options. I don't think we want to go down there. I think we're just going to go down the good old typical reorganize the Wehrmacht, pretty much historical stuff, and that leads us to, yes, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which will come later in the game. We need a lot of manpower in the field for that one. Do you want to grab that now? Changes the generals around, changes supply range. It does lots of other things. We also want to trigger off this thing down here. We want to get some of these guys in position where we can start getting their benefits. This is a very, I was going to say complicated, but the choices are fairly complicated. The things to boost the economy at the expense of other things. So that's only 35 days. It gives us political power. Do you know what? Let's get it. Let's get that started off, and we'll get some nice bonuses from that. We've already got enough political power to go and play with this. So I think one of the early things I actually want to do as Turkey remilitarizes the Turkish Straits. Okay, good for them. Good old Turkey. You go for it. We've got the MIFO Bills Architect. Now that gives us a reduction in the consumer goods factories and military factory and other construction speed. I think that's a good one to go with. Let's jump him in straight away. He's also cheap, and we like cheap. I'm also going to... oh, I tell you what I'm going to make a focus on. Let's get the intelligence agency going. Because I want to actually get working on the conspiratorial government thing for Poland. That would be quite nice. We'll get that going. We need to start that early, so we've got time to get it fully in place, which will reduce the resistance in Poland once we take the place over. But not only that, we need to get it going early, because I keep forgetting to make changes to the orders, and the mission's complete, and we're not aware of them because it doesn't flash up on the screen with a big blaring notification. So yeah, we'll miss a few of those, so we'll try and get going early with it. Right, okay, ooh, 20% off. Yeah, it's only going to take 3 years to do. No, I think we'll just hold off on that for the time being. Nothing to go in there, nothing to go in there. Do you know what? We could actually just jump straight into this. So we do want light tanks, obviously, later on, but we start with a decent light to begin with, actually. I might modify the template to that once we get some experience. So I am going to jump in and start getting the improved armor protection. Put it all on the Porsche. All on those. What did Porsche actually make in the way of armor during the war? They made the Ferdinand and the Tiger P. The Tiger P being the Tiger Porsche, which it wasn't actually successful in trials. It wasn't picked to be the model of the Tiger tank. That went to Henschel instead. So now we can apply one of Hitler's inner circle. I'm not an expert when it comes to these. They all have options. If you're playing this, I would read through and see what you like the look of. The one thing I would say don't pick is Goering, because if you pick him, it removes one of the options to reorganize the Luftwaffe in the focus tree, which I think is a better option. So we can, there's industry stuff, there's obviously the propaganda stuff, and there's just political stuff. I think Chancellor Bormann is actually a decent option. That gives us political advisor cost is reduced. It gives us political power. It's not amazingly exciting, that, but some of the stuff that comes on later on, recruitable population factor plus 5%, stuff like that is actually very useful. So we're going to go with Bormann to start with. The way they work is you pick the first focus, the first guy, and then he gradually works through the rest of the stuff himself. You don't have to change anything after that, which is kind of nice. Excellent. We have our intelligence agency. So let's get straight on with cryptology. We're going to upgrade it a few times just purely so that we can get a few operatives in place. The federal state of Austria bans the DNSAP. So this is something that came in with the Gotterdammerung DLC. Austria has a load more options for trying to resist the German Reich and everything else and go off on their own way. We don't want any of that. So whatever this is, they're not going to lose us this easily. It does cost us some political power, but basically, no. Resist them all the way. Austria will be ours. Electronic mechanical engineering. Nice, let's grab that. And I'm going to go into mechanical computing before we grab radio. Federal State of Austria installs Arthur Sayce Inquart as an advisor. It seems the Austrians have come to see reason after all. The ban on our sister party in the Federal State of Austria still stands, but they have at least installed Arthur Sayce Inquart as an advisor, allowing us some insight into their political manoeuvring. The total army fighting strength required for Anschluss will be lowered. That's the thing. The choices Austria makes are basically means that you have to have more soldiers in the field before you can do the Anschluss and take over Austria. And so that's why we want to resist them. We don't want to make it easy for them. Excellent. So we've got Chancellor Party Bormann. Now let's go pick something else. We're going to go over with reorganize the Wehrmacht. These are nice, short, 35-day focuses. So we get them going pretty quickly. We've got 150 political power here. So I'm going to throw in one of these. Chief of the Abwehr, operative slots, and agency upgrade time. Let's get that in pretty quickly. We're going to do some good work with the spies and build up as many as we can. Second London Naval Treaty. You know what? We're going to go for a fairly simple strategy for the Navy this time, which is going to be the submarine strategy. But I'm not going to waste time and effort developing the long-range cruiser subs. Just the standard ones will do absolutely fine. So we don't need the naval research facilities. We might capture one somewhere else during the war, which is going to be good enough for us. Let's go on radio interception and get that trained up whilst we recruit some operatives. And let's get decrypting the Polish communication system. Have we only got one? Oh, we've got some cavalry. Excellent. Right. Let's put some guys in there. We should have one horseman. And cavalry commanders. We don't have an amazing selection, although Feder von Bock is actually... Yeah, he'll do. The cavalry, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this. We want a slightly faster moving unit than infantry because we're going to have heavy tanks. We can do breakthroughs with heavy tanks. They're not going to be great for encirclement. So we want something faster moving so that once we've broken the enemy lines and punched a hole in it, we can flood it with faster troops. Now, long term, the plan is to get mechanized and motorized units for that. Far more effective than cavalry, can move faster. But the German industry and its resources, lack of rubber and fuel, probably is going to struggle to make a lot of those units early on. So we're going to go for cavalry to start with. We'll convert them later. And also, we just want lots of divisions and men in the field. Nice, simple, cheap divisions are what we're going for just at the moment. So, our first recruit... Oh, this guy, look. I mean, having the escape artist is actually really useful. Fritz Joubert de Caen. Let's get him... Let's see if he can get captured straight away. Go to Warsaw, start building an intel network. We'll hope he's not going to get captured straight away. Excellent. Feder von Bock. There you go. There's some more of your guys. Get training. We have facility with... Oh, yes. Brilliant. We want our aerodynamics facility. So we want... You can do... There's some awesome guys in here with great skill to start with, like Werner von Braun, the rocket specialist. There is a radar specialist. He only starts with one skill. Do you know what? It might be worth just putting in that to start with. It depends what else we want to do after this. We'll probably... jets would be useful. It doesn't really matter too much as long as we get that going. I mean, we're probably going to do jets more than rockets late war, I would say. If we're going to do any of these. Guidance systems. Let's put this guy in. I say it doesn't matter too much. If I wanted just for the radar, we could have got the radar specialist. But, you know, to be honest, the time scale and everything, I don't really care too much about it. So it's not worth worrying, I think. Excellent. We have reorganized the Wehrmacht. We do not want an anti-Comintern pact. We want to actually appease the Russians for now, or the Soviets. So from that point onwards, it's time to look at something else. Now, economy is never a bad idea. There's also expand the Luftwaffe and developing modern maneuver warfare. This gives us the option of different generals, and it is what we want to do. That will give us Rommel and Heinz Guderian. So can we do that? 70 days? Yep, let's get that. Let's do that. There's some awesome guys just in there. And then we'll start looking more on the economy side of things, because that's kind of important as well. We do need to get that going. Growing expenses of rearmament. Our rearmament program, while both necessary and with noble intent, is starting to cause concern among some of our economists. They worry that military production will need more and more funds to sustain itself. We need to keep a close eye so that military spending doesn't spiral out of control. Yeah, these are the MIFO bills. Now these are a downside to the German economy. Where are we? We've got the MIFO bills here. So consumer goods factories will increase by 3% each month up to 100%. The monthly increase will be higher based on the amount of non-core states controlled by the German Reich. So basically what we need to do is we're going to be losing factories to consumer goods factories. This is what the bills... I think these are these disbanded during wartime? Must be extended for 6 month periods, or the recipients will have to be paid when they fall due. I might be remembering how they used to work. I don't know. But anyway, there's some options to bring that down, and we're going to deal with it as best we can. The idea behind these in Germany, of course, was that these bills would be paid off with captured gold reserves from conquered countries. Although I don't think that was officially announced when they were brought in. That would kind of give the game away what Germany was up to. We will take Eric Gimpel, because he is an infiltrator, and we will speed up the process of building up our intel network in Poland. Are we still recruiting another? No operative being recruitment. Not yet. Not yet, but we're going to be working on that. In fact, we can put a guy in here, and he's going to give us an operative slots +1, plus reduction in resistance growth and stuff like that. So that's going to be cool. 30 days, we get another operative. Nice. And we can make ourselves the spy masters of the faction, which opens up, I think, another operative slot as well. So we can really do some work on this. Also, the more we upgrade this, the more operative slots we get. So these are actually kind of useful to do at the cost of civilian factories for a short amount of time. But we have a reduction in this, so we're going to actually play with it and take advantage of it as we go. All right, okay, we've got a nice bonus on industry. Let's go for dispersed industry, because I predict we're going to get some bombing. Germany is kind of a target for Allied bombing, so we're going to go with dispersed industry. It may help a bit. Like, it might not be important because we might be able to have the Air Force to negate it, but we'll do that anyway. So this is the modern maneuver warfare which we wanted, and then I also would like, when I can find it, see how big the focus tree is. There's loads of stuff to do. The one I want is the new Panzer Doctrine, which will give us some awesome generals, a cost reduction for mobile warfare, which is obviously the one we're going down, some army experience, and awesome, some nice cool stuff in there. Yeah, let's start that, 35 days. Now, we don't really need this to be quite so prominent in our choices. It can come later, but I like to get it out the way early, and we just get going and set ready for that. And it's handy going into the Spanish Civil War, because I'll be taking some armoured units over there. So this is Henschel. Okay, we're not planning on using these guys a lot. Involve them in special projects. Let's just put a few points into this. And at some point, I'm also going to need... Yeah, let's get reliability going. Reliability is always useful. Max speed. If I put a few of those in, we'll come back to that if that ever gets leveled up. But it's not one I'm planning on using, so it may not. This is the fight. This is the fight that we're interested in right here. Let's slow this down. Let's actually just recruit somebody. Is that it? We don't have any specials? Oh, that's a shame. I mean, I don't particularly want those stats, but I was kind of hoping we might get somebody else cool in there. All right, let's put you straight on the job. Let's help with the intel network. And we're going to join the war on the side of nationalist Spain. Now, if you join the war on the side of Republican Spain, you can take their gold reserves. They send them to Germany for safekeeping. I don't think it's worth it because there's some better options in here. So, send volunteers. We can send 3. Brilliant. And we'll send the air wings as well. So let me just form a little army out of that. We would like... Oh, nice. We've got 3 panzer divisions. Perfect. Stick them in there. We will slap a commander. Are we going to slap a commander in? Von Manstein. Oh, Manstein's pretty good, actually. Do you know what? Maybe we should make him... He's got some nice stats. I'm going to promote him. Yeah, go straight to a promotion. Now, we don't need to assign a commander to that yet. So we would like to send volunteers. We're going to send army number 4 and send air volunteers. Oh, that's a point. That's a point. We haven't actually formed the Air Force up yet. We've got all this. And I should have had these guys trained. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, none of them's trained. None of them's formed. Right, just disband the lot. So we get all the planes and manpower back. And what we're going to do is, this will do. Just right here. Let's get 2 lots of fighters. We will put in... We are making close air support so they can slowly level up. Ah, and there we go. 1, 2... That should be everything there. Having said that, 2 of those are going to go away straight away. So you and you. Spain's going to say thank you very much. So let's send the guys over there. And then everybody else can just get training. I think it was those 2. And hold down control and press that one. Right, nice. Let's get the guys over there and let's keep working on our spies for now. And become the spy master. Brilliant. So are we recruiting another operative? Not yet, but we have the potential to. Spy master of a faction of 1. It sounds amazing, doesn't it? We have military factories now. So what we need to do, we have a bit of experience. I'm actually going to start building these up. I might regret doing this early. But we're going to do it. We need some basic heavy tank chassis. However, the one we're given is not terribly exciting. We'll put the basic heavy cannon in. Rather, it's got a close support gun, which might actually be better for the job we have in mind to start with. However, I don't find that interesting. So we're going to go with Porsche. We're going to change the armor over to welded, which will use chromium, but it gives us some good breakthrough. That gives a higher production cost. We'll find some chromium from somewhere. We're going to go with a diesel engine because look at the reliability at the moment. The reliability sucks. But we can change that by sticking a torsion bar in. And we need the radio. What we do need, we don't need all these extra machine guns. But we will put in... Sloped armor's actually quite good. Wet ammunition storage to get the reliability up. I always like those. And we will put sloped armor because I kind of like it. And that will just remove... You can put fuel drums in so they hold a bit of extra fuel. I don't want the production cost to be ridiculous on these though. So that's fine. Let's save that. That's quite an expensive thing. But we're going to get the basic heavy tanks, right? And that is that one, I think. Made by Porsche. Right. So we're just going to get these churning away so we get a couple of these going. And then we can build our heavy tank divisions once we've got all the templates and stuff up in place. Okay, so our troops are on the way to join the fight in Spain. Did those aircraft ever go? Those 2 did not. So let's get them over there. And basically put the job on like that. Oh, military engineering vehicles. So that's excellent. That's now research. It's out the way. We've got nothing else to research with these guys for the time being. It'll tell us when they're ready, though, so we can come back and sort that out later. Nice. So we're going to have a fight. Now, I always like fighting in Spain. I think it's one of the cool things to do in the game. If you're playing as Italy or the Soviet Union, Or as Germany, send volunteers over, get involved. It's basically free experience. And that gives your guys quite a lot of XP. How are we doing on that one? Adopt new Panzer Doctrine. We're not quite there yet. Okay, come on. Construction 1. There's nothing more to do in there. We're in 36. And now we get the radio. Actually, radio is going to be very useful in this because it just helps with reinforced rate. We've also got an available special project. We will take the Flampanzer. Okay, let's start that. They are very good for adding into infantry divisions. They buff basically all the infantry units in the division. Nice. So we have... Here we go. Right, let's give them a commander. Oh, we haven't got the new ones in yet, have we? That kind of sucks. Okay, let's go. Let's put them in there, and we can put Manstein in there. Because he is pretty hot. Let's make him offensive doctrine, aggressive assaulter, and those are nice options, but we're going to go organisation first, I think, for reinforced rate. And believe it or not, I'm actually going to hold off just putting a general in there just for the time being. Simple reason is, I mean, I think what we've got here is some easy fights going through there. Oh, let's make sure the bombers who are going to be helping us are supporting that force. I should have organised that at the start of the game and got them retrained, but it's fine. Excellent. So we've got the new Panzer Division. We also, is that 70? No, it's 35 days. This one will give us Franz Holder, which we can put in as Chief of the Army. He is very, very good. It's another 35-day one. That's perfect. So we're going to get that, and that's going to give those, well, all our divisions 10% attack. So with that kicking off, I think we put Rommel in there. Yep, there we go. Rommel, he is the guy. We'll get some command. Oh, actually, we can afford 2. What's he got? Guerrilla Fighter. I'm not giving him Guerrilla Fighter. I'll hold off on that. I don't actually know if you spend if you take a perk like that, does it then reduce the number of perks you can take throughout the game? Is it a limited slots, or does it count towards a total? I honestly don't know. I've played this for nearly 1,000 hours, and stuff like that I'm still not sure of. So anyway, we don't need it because we don't really want that. We want something more like Panzer Leader or something like that. Government Cipher School, that's all done. We're now recruiting an operative. We will hold off on there, I think, for the time being, and come back to that later once we get some factories and other stuff kicked out. So I think that's what we want to do. Excellent. We have a plan. It's coming to fruition. We need leaders in place. Do we have... This is up to 48%. Okay, we can carry on working that over for the time being. The games of the, what's that, 11th Olympiad? Yeah, we're showing our best side to the world. Germany is clearly the Olympic champions in everything and best at everything. And don't you dare argue. Did we not move those guys? Okay, looks like we might need to railroad these in. I don't think our tanks are going to get in if I just sail them through the mountains quite slowly. Alright, so where are we going to get involved in the fighting? Obviously, you know, standard procedure. Were they going there? You're supposed to be going through to here. That's better, right. We just let them recover a bit there. We're going to be in on this fight, so we'll start getting experience. Let's pile in there. And let's spend... Oh, let's go building some stuff. So we've got a few civvy factories coming on. There's a shortage of... rubber's really bad. Rubber's really bad. There's a guy who gives us a bonus to constructing refineries. Now, this is going to be a key part of German strategy. We're going to need a lot of synthetic refineries to get our own rubber and oil from. Can we afford to do that now? I would say let's put one in. Do we have anywhere? I'll put it in Brandenburg. That'll do. And then we're going to have some more military factories. We'll go slowly on that. We need to balance everything, and this is... I think this is the challenging part of Germany, is just trying to balance the economy when you're starting things up. Let's see, what have we got? We've got more cavalry. Perfect. We put you into there. There's more of you guys to come as well, I think. And also what we're going to do is we're going to expand those cavalry divisions. In fact, we have a few points, so what I may do... let's just pause the game so I don't miss anything here. We want 24 infantry. Knock 2 of those off. Just put them in anywhere, it's fine. Let's edit the cavalry brigade, because we kind of do want that in, but what we want is number of divisions. So I'm actually going to remove that. I'll leave that in there, and we're going to boost this up. Do I want to duplicate this first? I'm thinking for making our police divisions later. No, it's fine. We want more horses. We'll just go for that. And we may put 2 artillery in, but we will leave it at that for now. That's going to put more manpower in, require quite a few more bits of guns and stuff like that, but that's absolutely fine. They will need retraining. Oh, they're on retraining. That's cool.